It is 6:30 p.m. We're going to call this workshop session of Lewisville City Council to order. We do have a quorum, and tonight, first thing on the agenda is discussion of the consent and regular agenda items, so we'll go ahead and move through to that. We will have a presentation of the capital improvement program. So next up, we have the invocation, Councilmember Meredith.
Yes, sir.
We have the pledge to the flags, Councilmember Troyer. We do have a proclamation regarding Police Records Week, and then we will move straight into the public hearings. First public hearing is .972 acres, Bennett Park Center, Addition Lot 1 at 519 Bennett Lane. This is a mobile detail shop that was approved by P&Z 7-0. No questions or comments? Public hearing number 2 is 1298 West Main Street, zoned local commercial. This is proposing to demolish an existing gasoline service station and redevelop the site with a more efficient gasoline service station.
Any idea when that's going to start?
Did not see that in the...
I don't know if I have. That will be an improvement.
It normally takes about a year. They'll have to go through their engineering site plan process and building permit process, so you'll probably see construction within 6 to 12 months.
Not a very, gasoline by itself, that's a very nice corner to have that be done on.
Yeah,
Great improvement on that.
It'll be a huge visual improvement down there. So, public hearing 3, 451 Bennett Lane. And this one is industrial real estate developer combined 2 parcels at 421 and 451 into one Class A warehouse distribution or manufacturing facility. Right now it's basically a laydown yard.
Yeah, with a bunch of code violations.
Any questions on item 3?
I was curious why that had to come to the SGP process. It looked like there's nothing around there.
Because there's residential.
There's a residential, I'm sorry. I looked, I didn't see it. Where?
To the northwest.
Northwest? It's within the 500 feet? Okay.
Or off of Yates Pine that goes to 35
Must
Service
be
Road.
decently far away.
Yeah, the other pine. The
Okay.
second pine.
Oh, I didn't recognize it as residential. Okay.
Public hearing 4. And this one is the ordinance adopting our 2025-2026 operating budget. Questions on that? All right, we'll move into consent agenda. We have approval of the minutes. Item 2 is a bid award for annual requirements contract for asphalt rehab projects. Number 7, professional services agreement with Davie Resource Group for citywide tree inventory. Number 8, resolution ratifying the property tax rate increase reflected in the fiscal year 2025-26 operating budget, which the rate is actually a decrease, but thank you, State of Texas. Item 9, approval of a resolution authorizing the addition of up to 3 firefighter positions, 2 police officer positions, 1 detention officer position, 1 public safety dispatcher over the authorized number of positions in the fiscal year 25-26 budget to alleviate understaffing caused by turnover. Item 10, this was the resolution suspending the effective date of the proposal by CoServe. This is our annual, we think you're charging too much.
How does this usually work out when we do this? So is it somewhere in between, or is it just plain no?
Well, on the CoServe one, we really don't have any authority on this particular one. When you get to Atmos, I think we do have some negotiation ability. This one, we're just holding off. We have the ability under state law to be able to hold off the implementation, which I think we're holding it off for like a couple months.
They actually chose on to push it back to January 1st. I'm not sure exactly why. They announced that they were doing it.
So I did have a question about that. I don't understand why it's different between CoServe and Atmos.
I think it's the different organizational structures. So like some are, it's their authorization under statute. If you have the other thing
CoServe
clear.
is a co-op. a nonprofit and Atmos is a for-profit business. I believe that that's.
But didn't we just have one for COSER or electric?
No, we had it for, what's the other one we did?
That was on this, okay, all right.
But isn't the electric regulated by two different people?
They're all different, like, regulatory sources. If you guys, if it's important, we can bring back someone who kind of talks through
I
all
was
the-
just curious, it was confusing me why we had COSER gas and Atmos gas that were playing by two different rules.
Yeah, so Atmos is gas, CoServ is electricity, but you're right, it
But this
was,
one is gas, is it not? COSER gas.
I don't know if that's supposed to be CoServ gas.
It says proposal by COSER gas.
It does say
COSER
COSER.
It is gas.
I may be speaking incorrectly then, whether or not it's gas or not, but Aaron can get you.
The company name might be that, but what is the product that they're selling to us?
Yeah, Castle Hills, we have Atmos Gas and CoServ's are electric out there, so, yeah.
Let us get you a clarification before we go out there.
Okay.
And if we need to, well, I don't know if we have the ability to hold off with this, I don't think we do.
So the
This is
COSER
just
one,
post,
since it doesn't really matter, we don't even really have to approve that one because they've already pushed it back beyond 45 days.
okay, so they don't have to take action tonight?
No.
Okay,
So we can just remove that.
If you like.
yeah.
Different.
Just say don't take action on it.
And take it out of the consent.
So if they take, you can take it off consent and then just take no action on it, and it,
It doesn't matter either way.
what is your?
We don't have to approve it, do we?
Just not. This is the first time I'm hearing it.
Look at it. I just want to make sure we.
I mean, as it is, he already said the
We could
date's
just like
changed.
pull it and table it.
Why don't we just pull it from the consent right now, and then Liz can look into what we need to do out there.
Okay.
That's fine.
Right. We'll move on. Item 12. This is a non-retroactive COLA adjustment for the Texas Municipal Retirement System.
Did we discuss it?
Oh, did I skip 11?
Yep.
I just blew right by 11, didn't
You
I?
did.
Good for me. Oh, yeah, because, yeah,
It's
that's
your
all
fault.
good.
It's all your fault. Always.
Item 11, that is the Office of the Attorney General, Purdue Pharma, and the Sackler family opioid settlement. So this is, we're participating in this particular settlement, which would give us another $93,000 over 16 years, which we can use specifically for opioid abatement.
And let's get that right. It's not 93,000 16 times.
No, it's
No,
over 16 years.
It's over 16 years.
I like that 92 cents a month.
Any questions on 11? Moving on to 12. This is the TMRS retiree COLA benefit change adjustment. We talked about this in worship a couple months back. 13, this is a negotiated settlement between Atmos City's Steering Committee and Atmos Energy. This is the rate reset, negotiated rate reset. Questions on that one?
We have an answer for the other one.
Got an answer for Ted?
So we can just pull it off consent. We did just receive an email earlier about it. They pushed it to January, so even if we approve this, it's just not necessary. So what you can do is just pull it off consent and then just skip it on the agenda. You take no action on it, it's fine. And
So we're
then-
gonna do to it what I've done to Patrick every so often.
Like every,
When we're doing the announcement.
Take away, what is no action on you?
I had to take the shot before you did.
I had it queued.
So do you want to pull it from consent?
I mean, I guess, does it really matter?
Well, if you approve a consent, you have to pull it from consent, because if you approve consent, I mean, I guess you could approve it, it doesn't matter.
And it is gas.
It is gas. Okay.
I mean,
I
it
never
doesn't
knew.
affect the outcome at all because we have no
Does not
ability.
affect
Go figure.
It doesn't affect the outcome. So if you want to approve it, you can approve it.
Okay.
Decisions.
I mean,
Come on.
Is it worth the effort if it doesn't make a difference?
Probably not. In fact, their email even said, if you've already approved it, it's not a big deal.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I'll leave it there unless somebody pulls it, so there we go. Next up, city council and staff reports. We do have a comment from Chief McNeil on the agenda.
Mine just turned on.
And then tonight, we do have closed session, so property acquisition, we have personnel, and then we have economic development. We may take those out of order depending on what we've got. Any questions about the agenda? All right, we're going to move back to our workshop session. Item B, capital improvement program update. We have our city engineer, David Salmon, Director of Parks and Recreation, Stacy Anaya, and Director of Public Services, Aaron Russell, to present.
And I'd actually like Ashley to kind of introduce the whole thing and kind of
Oh,
talk
sure.
about what this process is. I didn't give you that instruction.
Sorry about that, Ashley.
You won't hear from me a whole lot today. I just wanted to quickly introduce this presentation, just give you the framework that we're looking at here. So the presentations that our staff will go over today are projects where more than one of you indicated interest in. There was a list that we generated. Some of them were just one-off presentations that we can bring back to you at a later time. So just so you know, the projects that you're going to see here today were those ones where we had overlap. So we would like to get your feedback at the end. If there's anything you'd like to see differently, we envision this being sort of a recurring presentation. So just let us know your feedback, especially if there's any more detail that you would like. With that, I will turn it over to David.
So we're going to start out with the projects that engineering is managing. And as you can see, we've got a list here. We're going to start off with our Mackenzie Henry Phase 1 project. This project is actually, the design is complete. We've got one property owner that's not playing ball with this, so we may have to condemn the property. We don't know yet. We're going to make one last run. So the timing of this project is dependent on whether or not we can get the property owner to cooperate. But anyway, you can see this street, or this project covers Mesquite, Hembry, and Mackenzie Street. You can see the green line on Willow Street. We're not going to rebuild that street in this phase, but we do have to rebuild the sewer line, because that's the main sewer line that feeds the subdivision. One interesting thing to point out here, the existing sewer line on Willow Street is actually under this building, which we discovered during the design, so we're going to pull that out into the street. Next project, Mackenzie Hembry Phase 2. We're currently negotiating a professional services agreement with an engineering firm to start the design on this. It covers all the other streets in Mackenzie Hembry that weren't covered in Phase 1. We're replacing all these streets with concrete curb and gutter. We're going to put sidewalks where we can. We're trying not to, we're trying to minimize the amount of right-of-way we're getting for these projects. And obviously out here in this neighborhood, some of the right-of-ways are very narrow, and some of the houses are close and buildings are close to the street. So we're not going to be able to get sidewalks everywhere. We are going to get as many sidewalks in there as we can on the curbs. And of course, we'll be upgrading utilities and storm drainage. We're looking at, like I said, we're hopefully we'll get the design started this fall. South Mill Street. This project is currently funded in our capital program. However, our transportation consultant, John Polster, kind of put us onto a grant opportunity. So my staff applied for it's the Surface Transportation Block Grant. We applied for this grant. We were awarded a grant of $22 million. And on top of that, the icing on the cake here is that the COG has agreed for us to use transportation development credits for our 20% match. So at the end of the day, with this being grant funded and using those TDCs, we should have very little local money in this project. And it's about a $28 million project, so this was a huge thing for us. We'll be bringing the grant acceptance to City Council at some point in the near future. We're still working on the agreement with the COG and the FHWA. So we haven't accepted the grant yet, but it has been awarded. This project will extend what we've done on South Mill Street previously with the bump outs and back end parking, landscaping, pedestrian lighting, street furniture, things of that nature. So it'll look very much like we've done to the north of here, Mill. You'll see the little red area down at the very bottom. That's the piece that TxDOT is going to be building for us with their I-35 project when they align the intersection of Mill and Business 121. So there again, the state is jumping in and building that piece too. The next project, Heritage Prairie Park and Trail Boardwalk. This is a combination project with our Parks and Recreation Department. This project funds a boardwalk around the body of water that sits on the east side of Summit Avenue. And then it's also going to connect a trail on the very over to McGee Lane to kind of fill in a gap where we don't have a trail so that everything out there is continuous. Right now, we've only got the preliminary design funded, and the reason for that is we have to go to the Corps of Engineers to get approval to build this boardwalk structure around the lake. We don't know whether we're going to be successful or not. So the preliminary design is supposed to get us close enough so that the Corps can either give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down with regard to the proposed boardwalk. And then of course, assuming that ultimately we get approval from the Corps to do something, then of course we'll try to fund the rest of the design and ultimately construction.
David, can you explain why it's so difficult, why it's difficult to get Corps approval on this, about it being a mitigation bank area?
Yeah, this pond or lake, whatever we want to call it, it was constructed as a mitigation area for some other wetlands project. So, the developer, when they built Summit Avenue and they did a lot of grading and dirt work out here back in, I want to say the early 2000s, they had to mitigate some of the floodplain areas that they reclaimed. And so, leaving this lake area natural was part of that mitigation. So, and the Corps of Engineers is very protective over their mitigation areas. They like to leave it completely natural, and we're hoping that we can come up with a design that will keep it as natural as possible, but yet allow it to be some sort of an amenity. So it's going to be a balance. Corporate Drive, segment 6, this was our Windhaven project, which of course is done. We recently made final payment to the contractor and to the engineering firm, so we can stick a fork in it. And of course, the project is still under maintenance.
How long is the warranty period?
I'm sorry?
How long is the warranty period?
2 years.
2 years.
So it's basically 2 years from the date we sent the acceptance letter. So we've still got a year and some time left.
Can you also talk about the recent award we got on that?
Well, yeah, actually, this project, and I can't remember the name of the organization. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, you can keep going on.
Okay. Yeah. This project has actually been awarded a state level award, and the award ceremony is going to be in Houston, I think, in the second week of October. This project was actually submitted for this award by the contractor. So Anyway, we'll have some staff down there as well as a representative from the contractor, probably a representative from the engineering firm to accept the design award, the construction award for this project.
It's ENR Texas and Louisiana Award of Merit,
Yes.
recognizing that it is one of the top engineering projects of the
Yes.
year.
In the region. Corporate Drive segment 2 and 3. Most of you have been out here to see this there about a month or so ago. This project is roughly, what is it, 75% complete. Our contractor, Sun Construction, is really moving quickly on this. We're estimating that this piece of the corporate drive will be completed in August 2026. And then the other segments to the east will follow that. We'll talk about that here in a minute. Anyway, 75% complete. They're almost done with the paving that's shown in the green area. And they're almost done with the bridge as well. They set the last beam on the bridge here about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And then so they're paving the bridge. So it's moving along quite nicely, and we've had very few hiccups with this project.
I'm real excited about this project. It's going to be a much prettier drive-in for our folks that are the same
Oh,
brothers
yeah.
I am.
You know, it's going to be nice, and there's going to be some decorative features on the bridge, and it's going to be nice with the bike lanes and sidewalks, and of course a landscape median. Corporate Drive segments 4 and 5. This is the continuation going east toward Carrollton. This project was bid separately from the other project a little bit later, so this one's roughly 50% complete. Again, they're making good pace on it, and it's expected to be completed in December of 2027. We've got two pieces of actually segment 5 is the 2 red pieces. That's actually in the city of Carrollton, and we've got an agreement with the city of Carrollton to build that. And then those 2 pieces are actually being funded with the RTR money and then the Denton County TRIP money. So the city money is being used in the city. Again, this will look just like the other end with the medians and the bike lanes and wide sidewalks and landscape. And the picture on the screen is actually a piece of Carrollton. It's almost done. I think they've got some sidewalk work left to do and maybe some driveways. But that piece of Carrollton is almost completed.
Is that going to change names when this is completed? Because right now it's like Carrollton Way or something, I think.
Yeah, actually, in Carrollton, it's actually called Carrollton Parkway.
That's right.
Yeah.
So it'll stay that name, I'm assuming.
Yeah, we just call it Corporate Drive because it's an extension.
We could try to get Carol.
I'll contact my buddies so we can see what happens.
Trade them for some libraries.
Thanks very
Yeah,
much.
I was gonna say something.
Our next project is Northwest Old Town Streets. Actually, the design is complete on this. One thing that makes this project a little unusual is that we started out kind of similar to McKinsey-Henry, where we were going to do some curb and gutter street sections and try to put the drainage underground. And again, because this neighborhood is so old, a lot of the right-of-ways are narrow. We were having trouble fitting those street sections in the right-of-way. And so we were trying to do some narrower street sections. And when we went out to visit with the neighborhood, we were told quite plainly that they didn't want curb and gutter streets. They liked the feel of this particular neighborhood specifically because it didn't have curb and gutter, it gave it a little bit more of a rural feel, like they were actually living in Old Town. And so we went back to the drawing board, and so what we're going to be doing with this project is we're going to be replacing all the utility lines, upgrading the drainage, we'll add sidewalks where we can. But then we're going to go back after all that is finished, and we're just going to do an asphalt mill and overlay for those streets. So it's a little bit different project than we normally do, but we kind of followed what the neighborhood wanted us to do, and This project is, like I said, the design is complete. We've held off a little bit on bidding the project. Of course, as you know, right now we have West College Street under construction. We're getting ready to start construction on East College, and coming up on Western Days, we just didn't want everything to be under construction for Western Days. So we've worked with James Cunty's group to come up with a plan to kind of phase this stuff so that we don't have a lot of trouble getting in and out of Western Days. So that's why we've been kind of sitting on this project. But we're going to be bid, now that we're getting close to Western Days, we can go ahead and get this project bid. And last but not least, we've got Northeast Old Town. About 2 years ago, we did one block of Leonard Street, and that's the picture down here at the bottom of the screen. We anticipate doing the remainder of the streets in Northeast Old Town very similarly, with the bump outs and parallel parking, some landscaping, lighting, things of that nature, just like you got in the picture. And this project is not funded until 2029. It's a little bit later on in our bond program. So of course we haven't started that yet. So with that, I guess I'll answer any questions about the projects that I've covered.
Thank you very much.
Through it in the next 4 minutes.
Well, or we can take a pause and come back when we start. So
That's what you got, Oscar shot.
we'll take a 4-minute break.
All right.
We'll go open up the regular council meeting, and then we'll come back and finish this up. Good evening. It is 7:01 p.m. and we're going to call this meeting of the Lewisville City Council to order. We do have a quorum. First up on the agenda is the invocation with Councilmember William Meredith.
Please join me in a moment of silent contemplation. Thank you.
Councilmember Troyer.
Please join me in the pledges to the U.S. and Texas flags. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
All right, with that, we still have some of our regularly scheduled workshop session to go back into. So we're going to go back into our workshop session. You all are welcome to join us in there. It is a public meeting, and I think they pipe the audio into this space as well. That'll take us a few more minutes, and then we'll come back to do the remainder of our regular session.
All right.
All right, Stacy. Ready when you are.
Yes, sir. Mayor, city council members, park fans. I just have one project I want to talk about tonight, which is the Vista Ridge Park redevelopment. If you'll remember, that is down south of SRT, down off of the Declid Park, or lakes. We have a park out there that's, it's almost 40 years old. It's been drowning every time we have a heavy rain off of Denton Creek, so we've been working to redesign it. Y'all approved a site master plan for it in 2020. It was one of the projects approved in the 2024 bond project. We've been going back out and talking with stakeholders, specifically people in the adaptive sports, inclusive play community, to get more input on exactly how we can make this park come to fruition. And one of the things that we've changed a little bit is how we're going to handle our multi-use inclusive field. Originally, when we did the plan, we had talked about being a Miracle League baseball field, a diamond,
when we got in and started engaging the stakeholders, we kind of heard, hey, we've got one in Flower Mound, we've got one coming in Carrollton, and we've kind of got a saturation of that type of field for inclusive play. But what we don't have are rectangle or square fields. So we can't play soccer or football or field hockey. So maybe what we look at is putting rectangle sports in, which kind of opens us up to some more partnerships with maybe like the Dallas Cowboys or the FC Dallas or Dallas Stars to come in and help us with that. It also does still allow us to put a diamond in there if we want. So that's one of the things that we've been working on. We've also been working with the Lewisville Park Alliance to start coming up with how we can partner with them to seek doing some fundraising or doing some extra sponsorships to help make sure we get all the way to the end with this. They had pledged at the beginning when we started this project to raise about $1 million for it, so they're on their way to that. So we're about 90% done with the 30% plans, and we'll have that to bring to you probably in December, and that's when we'll start talking about what sponsorships would look like. Remember, we're not going to do what we've done out at Railroad Park in previous years. We're probably going to limit it to certain aspects of the park, but not the whole park be up for naming. And that's where we're at right now. Any questions?
Yeah, questions about the amphitheater.
Oh, sure. So we are, as part of the project, we're looking at to create some of the space to take in some of the overflow from Denton Creek. We're going to dig out some of the existing terra and move it to fill in the amphitheater, which is...
Looks like the Night of the Walking Dead.
It does, and it's a constant battle for us, and it is part of the LID's overflow system, and they've been changing what their level's going to be, so they're raising it by a couple of feet. So we're working on getting that designed to get it to a blank slate, where we'll fill it up. We'll add some infrastructure in it, but what we're hoping to do is to work with a developer to help us put in like a beer garden or something could be complementary to all the businesses and townhomes that are around there, that would hopefully not only help us raise some revenues that could help supplement what we do on the other side of the park, but also reinvigorate that space.
I'm sure I misheard this. The amphitheater is part of the detention system?
It overflows into there.
Intentionally or not?
I'm not quite sure. I'm off
At
the right.
first, I don't think so. I remember.
I don't think it.
Did the grand
But
opening
it does
on the
now.
amphitheater.
It comes
Yeah,
in.
no, I know it does now.
Yeah.
But it does now.
Yeah, that would be amazing if we, back in the day,
Right.
designed it to be a detention pond.
No.
No.
No,
But it did
yeah.
hold. It did hold and then drained to it. Well, now it comes back.
Okay. Yeah, and I imagine because we have much heavier rainfalls than we've had historically, that also becomes a challenge.
It's also an old system.
Sure.
Pumps don't work.
Thank you.
Does that dollar figure include some kind of escalation to like midpoint of construction?
This is, yes, to 2029, I believe.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think we have Aaron Russell. Yes, sir.
Good evening, Mayor and Council and sewage fans.
Legit.
They asked for it. I didn't. So this is a project a large project that's taken a bit of an interesting path to get here. So we started off this project with a construction manager at risk procurement method. Through that process, the contractor came back at the 60% design, said they estimated the project it was going to cost between 85 and 115 million. And we said, whoa, time out. We don't have that even if we wanted to pay that. So we went in, that didn't agree with what the engineer's estimate was. So we went out and hired a third-party cost estimator. Didn't tell them anything, that we wanted an objective opinion of that. So they came back and said, no, it really shouldn't cost that much. So it's the total project cost is 77 million. We did, through the design process, we did split this into two phases, really from a cash flow standpoint. The original scope was going to rehab the existing aeration basins as well as building 4 new ones. We chose to go ahead and just build the 4 new ones. They're a little bit bigger than what the original scope was, but that satisfies our TCEQ permit. Cuts about $7 to $8 million off of this phase so that we can manage, it's really just to manage sewer rates, so that we don't have to increase rates, smooth out the capital cost there. A lot of value engineering has gone into this project. It also includes a new blower building. In addition to these aeration basins, includes a new blower building. We're moving everything that produces heat that we can outside the building because we do have to condition that space to protect the equipment. So want to minimize the heat gain so that we can, I think we cut about $1 million off of the HVAC cost for that building through that process. Another thing that we've done is we changed the pipe, so we went to HDPE pipe instead of ductile iron. That saved almost $4 million to go through that process, and honestly, we kind of like it better. It's going to last better than the ductile iron would. Ductile iron is really more of a tradition than an engineering decision. But like I said, $77 million project. We have completed design. We are finalizing the specifications. We expect to get that thing. We're going to do a sealed proposal, which considers price and contractor experience at the same time. We're finalizing those specifications. I expect to get that out with less than 30 days advertised. Happy to answer any questions.
On this project, I just want to give a shout out to Aaron. I've been super impressed from day one on this project. He has not been willing to take, contractors saying this is going to cost this amount of money, which was an exorbitant cost, and he was like, we can do better, and he found very creative ways to challenge that, got out of that contract, and then are going out for competitive seal proposals. So I'm very well done, Aaron.
I had a question related to that. Are we starting to see, like with the CMAR, with the contractor taking on that risk, are we seeing that they're really just upping the price for what we pay because they are going to take the risk?
So I would say we're seeing that specifically, and we talked to North Texas Municipal Water District, we talked to Upper Trinity, we talked to Dallas Water Utilities that are building plant projects, and that is because there's such a small number of contractors that are doing plant projects. That's kind of what they're seeing is the contractors are well aware that there's a handful of contractors that can do that work. So they're starting to take advantage of it. So all of those entities are starting to move away from CMAR for plant projects.
We're kind of seeing the same thing where I'm at too, where CMR is not really panning out, and so we always do CSP anyway, but CMR kind of said the same thing in one of our projects and said, you said you're crazy, and so they're going to be out of there pretty soon. So
We'll know soon if we're right.
All right, thanks, sir. Any questions on those three? Hearing none, we'll go back to the regular session. All right. Next up on the agenda is proclamations. And I need my Police Department Records Division, please. All y'all get to be in the spotlight for a little bit. Thank you so much for being here tonight. All right, these glorious folks are records management, or at least a big, considerable chunk of it. If you don't know or haven't seen recently, records in the police department are kind of a big deal. I don't think you can police anymore without massive amounts of records. Documents, videos, audio, everything's recorded, everything's documented, because that's what our legal system demands. And without it, we don't have a legal system. We don't have a police system that actually can hold people accountable. So being able to manage that vast amount of data is incredibly important, and it's getting more and more important as we go, and we're not getting anything less as far as data. Would you agree? It's just every other day we're being asked for some other measurement. So I have a great proclamation here, so I'm going to read this, and if you want to whereas with me, go right ahead. But whereas the City of Lewisville Police Department Records Division handles non-emergency calls, assists customers in the police lobby, processes information requests, and manages police records throughout their life cycle. And whereas police records staff respond to requests from internal and external customers and play a key role in fostering relationships with police agencies, government entities, and organizations to promote intra-agency communication. And whereas the Lewisville Police Department creates approximately 15,000 offense records and approximately 6,800 arrest records each year, which must be coded and maintained. And whereas police record staff ensure proper release of public records under the Public Information Act, and the City of Lewisville recognizes the importance of every law enforcement position in service to our community. Now, therefore, I, T.J. Gilmore, the Mayor of the City of Lewisville, on behalf of the Lewisville City Council, do hereby proclaim the week of September 7th through the 13th as Police Records Week in Lewisville, Texas, and encourage all residents to express their appreciation to the Lewisville Police Department police records staff for their dedication to the organization and contribution to the community. And one way you can celebrate that is by not generating a police record. So please do that this week. So let's give them a hand. Do you have any words?
I don't want to say anything.
Anybody? Anybody?
Oh, I will.
Awesome. I knew we had one.
I have the pleasure of helping lead this team, and they are fantastic. Their attention to detail, their camaraderie, they're just an amazing group of people, and I appreciate everything that they do, and I am fortunate that we have a council and a mayor that recognizes what they do for this community. So thank you.
Thank you, Elizabeth. That's for y'all. And did we get one? We get a photo? We good? Awesome. Thank you, ladies. Appreciate you. My apologies. Could I have somebody from staff flip the podium around? We do have some public comment tonight. Thank you, Aaron. Next up on the agenda, item D1, public hearing. Public hearing, consideration of an ordinance of the Lewisville City Council amending the zoning ordinance by granting a special use permit for automotive repair minor on approximately .972 acres, legally described as Bennett Park Center Edition Lot 1, Block A, located at 519 Bennett Lane, and Zone Light Industrial District, providing for a savings clause, repeal or severability, penalty, and an effective date, as requested by Timothy Gotcher, EcoPal Mobile Detailing LLC, on behalf of KJS Properties LLC and the property owner. This is case number 25-03-3-SUP. EcoPal Mobile Detail is a minor automotive service shop proposing to occupy a 750 square foot portion of an existing building at 519 Bennett Lane. The business offers on-site detailing and repair services. A special use permit is required to allow the minor automotive service facility. The applicant has agreed that the use be limited to 750 square feet in area, to not store or repair vehicles outdoors on site, and to not allow any outside storage as conditions of the SUP. The Planning and Zoning Commission recommended unanimous approval 7-0 on August 5th, 2025, and it's recommended that the City Council approve the ordinance as set forth in the caption above. Mr. Richard Lutke, our Planning Director, is available for questions, and the public hearing on this is now open. And I do not have any public comment. Council, if there are no questions or comments, I'll entertain a motion.
I had just a question, real quick question, Richard. Where is the 750 square feet within the existing buildings?
It is located in the southernmost portion of the northern building.
Okay.
Exhibit A of your attachment shows that location.
Yeah, so you're not even going to see it from the street? Anyway.
Correct, it will not be near the street.
Perfect.
Any other questions or comments? All right, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to close the public hearing.
Second. I have a motion and a second to close the public hearing. Council, if you'd please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Council, I'll entertain a motion on the ordinance.
Move to approve the ordinance as set forth in the caption.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? Second. I have a motion and a second. Council, please vote. Motion passes 6-0. Thank you, Council. Public hearing number 2, consideration of an ordinance of the Lewisville City Council amending the zoning ordinance by granting a special use permit for a gasoline service station on approximately .582 acres legally described as Lot 1, Block A, Mobile Oil Addition, located at 1298 West Main Street and Zone Local Commercial District, providing for a savings clause, repeal or severability penalty, and an effective date as requested by MD Mazharul Islam Civil Urban Associates Incorporated on behalf of Avna Realty Incorporated, the property owner, case number 25-05-8-SUP. The applicant proposes to demolish an existing gasoline service station and to redevelop the site with a more efficient gasoline service station. The redevelopment includes closing driveways to provide safer circulation, adding new landscaping, and constructing a new stone and brick veneer building. The proposed updates to the gas service station require a special use permit in the local commercial district. The Planning and Zoning Commission recommended unanimous approval 7-0 on August 5th, 2025, and it's recommended that the City Council approve the ordinance as set forth in the caption above. Richard Ludke, our Planning Director, is available for questions, and the public hearing on this is now open. I have no requests for public hearing comments. Council, if there are no questions or comments.
I have
Go ahead.
a question, Richard. So I think it's going to be a great addition to that corner. I'm looking forward to it. But when I see things like this, I start to wonder about how do we make sure this doesn't devolve into a vape shop masquerading as a gas station, things like that. So how do we protect against that, make sure that it is a gas station and it is a convenience store, and it doesn't devolve into neon signs everywhere and things like that?
Well, number one, we, as part of this SUP, the ordinance requires that, they operate a convenience store, and that is strictly defined in the Unified Development Code as providing food items and convenience items to the general public. And actually, in staff's research associated with this project and several others like it, we found that when commercial properties and their owners are not investing in upkeep, we find that that leads to a greater deal of vacancy, and those type of locations do tend to attract the type of businesses that you mentioned. Conversely, we found that when a commercial property has a significant level of reinvestment, and and with this one, they are completely wiping the slate clean and making a huge investment in new buildings, new landscaping, and as part of this, the signage is required to be a monument sign. We found that in doing so, it does generate a greater deal of business activity in competition with some of the newer, flashier type of similar businesses like Quick Trip and Racetrack. And we find that they, in general, do not decline as they would if they were not reinvesting in all these upgrades.
Okay.
So the SUP has been a really great tool. This has been done in several locations around the city, and those enhancements go a long way to not only protect that property but the general area around it.
So in conclusion, I guess, to make sure I heard this correctly, not only do we have ordinances that help protect against this, but it would be incongruent with that type of investment to let this devolve immediately into something that I'm concerned about. Is that accurate?
Correct.
Okay, thank you, Richard.
Well, and I would also just say that this is zone local commercial, right? So
yes,
they would not be having to go through the SUP process if they weren't, in fact, intending to have a gas station here.
correct. If it were left in its current state, we've seen a lot of these older gas stations, that are 40 to 50 years old, often will lose their agreement with their gasoline supplier, and then that's when they normally turn into other uses because they're sitting there vacant.
So, and I just wanted to point out a couple of things that I'm very excited about the loss of the extra driveway on Main Street that's just right at the intersection. Not only is that a really dangerous spot just right there at the intersection, but it also there's just a whole lot of movement both on the street and within the site that is going to be avoided by getting rid of that extra driveway. So I'm excited about that. And I'm also really excited to see the building kind of hide the rear facade of the buildings behind it, where you can just see the back of those buildings. So I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be a very nice upgrade.
Other comments? All right, if there are none, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Move to close the public hearing.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Council, please vote. Motion passes 6-0. The public hearing is now closed. I will now entertain a motion to approve the ordinance.
Move to approve the ordinance as set forth in the caption.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Council, if you'd please vote. Motion passes 6-0. Item D3, public hearing, consideration of an ordinance of the Lewisville City Council amending the zoning ordinances by granting a special use permit for warehouse distribution facility and manufacturing light intensity on approximately 5.703 acres out of the E80 survey, abstract number 11, located at 421 Bennett Lane and 451 Bennett Lane, Zone Light Industrial District, providing for a savings clause, repeal or severability penalty, and an effective date as requested by Lindsay Mayer, Dynamic Engineering Consultants, PC, on behalf of Eduardo and Ana Ortuno and Rafael and Alfredo Corona, the property owners. Case number 25-04-6-SUP. Lovett Industrial, an industrial real estate developer, proposes to combine two parcels located at 421 and 451 Bennett Lane into one Class A warehouse distribution or manufacturing facility. This project was proposed after the adoption of the new supplemental standards for warehouse distribution or manufacturing facilities. Thus, a special use permit is required due to the proximity to residential to the west of the proposed location. The City Council approved a zone change for agricultural open space district to light industrial district for the western half of this site on August 4th, 2025. The Planning and Zoning Commission recommended unanimous approval 7-0 of this SUP on August 5th, 2025, and it is recommended that the City Council approve the ordinance as set forth in the caption above. We do have Richard Lutke, our Planning Director, available for questions, and the public hearing is now open. I do have Mr. Chris Gilbert from Dallas, Texas, and Lovett Industrial available to answer questions.
I had a question for Richard. I think I asked this last time when we were talking about I guess it was a rezone of this one of, or both of these properties. Have we heard anything from the residential street that's just right in the vicinity?
We didn't, staff did not receive any comments from any of the neighbors. I believe the applicant did set up a meeting with the neighbors to kind of go over the plan so that they would know what's going on and get any of their feedback. And from what I understand, all the comments they received were positive.
Okay, great. Thank you.
If there are no further questions or comments, Council, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Oh, move to close the public hearing.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Council, if you please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Council, I'll now entertain a motion on the ordinance.
Move to approve the ordinance as set forth in the caption.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Council, if you'd please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Public hearing number 4, consideration of an ordinance adopting the fiscal year 2025-2026 operating budget. In accordance with state law and the city charter, a public hearing is being held on the proposed fiscal year 2025-26 budget, available on the homepage of the city's website and in the city manager's office to provide an opportunity for public input. The proposed budget includes changes made by City Council at the budget workshop held on August 9th, 2025. New to the budget adoption process this year is Texas Government Code Section 551.043C, which took effect September 1, 2025. This statute requires that the public notice of a meeting at which a governmental body will discuss or adopt a budget must include a taxpayer impact statement that includes a comparison of the median valued homestead property tax bill in dollars for the current fiscal year to an estimate of the property tax bill for the same property for the upcoming fiscal year if the proposed budget is adopted, as well as a balanced budget funded at the no new revenue tax rate. For the Lewisville median home value of $383,444, the city portion of the property tax bill in the current fiscal year is $1,619.80. The same property would owe $1,606.66 if the fiscal year 2026 proposed budget is adopted, or $1,570.84 if the budget was funded at the no new revenue rate. Texas Local Government Code Section 102.007 requires the City Council to take action on the proposed budget at the conclusion of the public hearing. Approval of this ordinance adopts an operating budget for these funds beginning October 1st, 2025 and ending September 30th, 2026. It's recommended that the City Council approve the ordinance as set forth in the caption above, and the public hearing on this item is now open. I have no requests for comment at this time. Council, any comments or questions? If there are none, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor to close the public hearing signify by saying aye or voting. There's 6-0. The motion passes. Council, I'll entertain a motion on the budget ordinance.
Motion to approve the ordinance set forth in the caption.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Council, if you would please vote. Motion passes 6-0. All right. Next item, E, Visitors Forum. Speakers must address their comments to the mayor rather than to individual council members or staff. Speakers should speak clearly and state their name and address prior to beginning their remarks. Speakers will be allowed 5 minutes for testimony. Speakers making personal, impertinent, profane, or slanderous remarks may be removed from the meeting. Unauthorized remarks from the audience, stamping of feet, whistles, yells, clapping, and similar demonstrations will not be permitted. In accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, the City Council is restricted from discussing or taking action on items not listed on the agenda. Action can only be taken at a future meeting. I do have one request for Visitors Forum. Mr. Carl Kraus. Mr. Kraus, if you wouldn't mind, please approach the dais and state your name and address for the record, please, sir. You have 5 minutes.
Carl Kraus, 2005 Piedmont Drive, Lewisville, 75067. Main reason I'm here today is concerning the speeding in our alleyway. The first page I'm looking at is 8.5 by 11, and to orient you, corporate south and Valley View is north, and it's bordered by Piedmont on the right west and Teakwood east. Years ago, I've lived at this property 15 years, and years ago I contacted the city about the problem we were having. And they said nothing could be done without a speed limit signs. I'm like, great. So if you look at the drawing, you can see 3 places, the round circles, where they put speed limit signs in. I was really impressed as to how fast they did it within 2 weeks after calling. Now, if you look at the top left, it says missing sign, the star. If you were to fully enforce that alleyway, that would need a red speed limit sign as well. And I also put a little spot at the bottom where if it was enforced by police, that would be the best place to park. Piedmont is a street that is tiered, and corporate is at the highest point. Valley View is at the most southern point, and it's like a Pinewood Derby. People start at corporate and just run down that alley, and by the time they get to my property, they're going probably 20 miles an hour or more. I've called non-emergency before, nothing gets done. You know, to me, if police came out and started ticketing people, we have a neighborhood group that all of a sudden people would be going, oh no, I got a speeding ticket. So anyway, if you look at page 2, what I want to do is put speed bumps in. You can see how I would install them. And also on page 3 is signs. I worked for Delta as a mechanic, aircraft mechanic, 28 years. I'm like, I can put this in, no problem. I have the tooling and the knowledge. And then, you know, to me, the best time probably for a policeman to show up would be in the morning when people are leaving for work. They would not be happy to have to be stopped by a policeman in the morning. Now, on the last page, that'll tie into the other group of pictures that I have. And my feeling is the properties shown are city properties. And a lot of times that never gets mowed the whole summer. I mean, the Johnson grass will go 2-3 feet tall. On the bottom left picture, they mowed that area because they had to put equipment in to replace. You can see the bottom right picture, they replaced like 3 squares of concrete. So while they had their equipment there, they mowed all that down. My feeling is, you know, it's the city's property. It should be something mowed by them. Being that the property on the top left is across from my property, I usually go over there and mow it all the time just because of the problem with having, you know, the weeds grow up. And, you know, not to, I guess, put a feather in my cap, but there's a number of sewers around there that in the fall they get plugged up with leaves and stuff, and I'll go down there and clear the sewers out so the water can drain in, and walk the alley. When there's a broken glass, I'll sweep it up and whatever. But anyway, tying that last page in, if you leave that open and kind of go to the one that says here, news flash. If you look, well, the top left picture on the last group is the same one as the top left picture on the news flash page. I don't know if they can see it, but people are dumping shrubs and stuff there. I've gone and bundled them up and thrown them in the trash. You can see on the bottom left picture of the other page and the one on the right, the tire laying there. And you can see there's dead shrubs, trees, debris, and trash. Something needs to be done with that. One of the problems, I guess it's a personal gripe, I guess, is code enforcement. I had Beth Adams a year ago gig me for my pecan trees having too many pecans on them, basically, and the branches were coming down. She said it was blocking the alley or the sidewalk. You need to do something with it. And now I heard from my neighbors that she's gigging people for the grass being taller than what it should be by the ordinance the day before their mowing guys come out to mow. And my feeling is that she needs to be put on other projects, like on page 2. I brought these pictures up a year ago where street signs are being blocked by trees. You got tree branches blocking speed limit signs and school zone signs. That kind of stuff needs to be addressed. It's the same as it was a year ago. Nothing's been done. And when I was here last year, I was addressing the skunks in our neighborhood, and somehow the skunks found another place to live. So we don't have skunks right now. But, you know, I don't know who you would put on it, but Beth seems, you know, I don't know if there's more than just Beth doing code enforcement, but she seems to have a pretty keen eye to go through the city and try to fix these things. If you look at the next page, you can see the city had to come out, there was a water leak, and they found out it was on the city side, and they tore up the guy's property at 405 Preston Oaks, and they actually found the leak across the street by the street sign at the corner of Piedmont and Preston Oaks. And not a very good picture, but you can see how they left it. It's just, you know, and I saw a city truck come by the next day to look at it, and nobody's been out to repair it since. And then on the bottom pictures, you can see, not very well, but when they finished on his lot, the water meter is at least a foot below the grass line. And most anywhere else I've seen, you know, the meters are within 2 or 3 inches of the surface of the grass. So, you know, this thing is just buried down in the ground. They didn't really do a very good job. But,
Mr. Kraus? Mr.
Pardon
Kraus,
me?
we're past the 5 minutes by a couple of minutes.
I'm sorry.
So, but what I wanted to let you know is that we have
Yeah,
your packets here.
I'm trying to run through as
Yeah,
quick as
understood.
I can.
And what I'll do is we have several departments that you're addressing here in this packet. We'll make
Yeah.
sure that they all reach out to you and get you either explanations for what's going on or solve the problem. And,
Okay.
And we'll move forward that way. Is that
Okay.
fair?
And yeah, but when I was here last time, it's like no answer is an answer, and it's not a good answer. And when nobody calls me, you know, personally, I like to see somebody email me. That way I have a paper trail.
Understood.
So, yeah.
I think we've got a city staffer standing right behind you that's going to talk with you right when you're done here.
Okay.
And we'll make sure to dot the i's and cross the t's for you, sir.
All right.
All right?
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Thank you for
Yeah.
your awareness, and thank you for putting time into your neighborhood.
Yeah.
Next on the agenda, item F, consent agenda. All of the following items on the consent agenda are considered to be self-explanatory by the council and be enacted with one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member or member of the public so requests. For a member of the public to request removal of an item, a speaker card or e-comment must be filled out and submitted to the city secretary. Council, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Council, please vote. Motion passes 6-0. Moving on. Item 12, regular hearing. Consideration of an ordinance of the Lewisville City Council adopting non-retroactive repeating cost of living adjustment for retirees and their beneficiaries under the Texas Municipal Retirement System Act, item 853.404F and F1, and authorizing annually accruing updated service credits and transfer undated service credits and providing for severability and effective date. City staff introduced the potential change of Lewisville's Texas Municipal Retirement System retiree COLA benefit from a retroactive calculation to a non-retroactive calculation during the City Council workshop on June 16, 2025. This proposed ordinance makes the change while maintaining the current COLA benefit at 70% and updated service credit at 75% effective January 1, 2026. It's recommended that the City Council approve the ordinance as set forth in the caption above. Tad Phillips, our Director of Human Resources, is available for questions. Council, if there are no questions or comments, I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve the ordinance as per the caption.
All right, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Council, if you'd please vote. Motion passes 6-0. Item 13, consideration of an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Lewisville, Texas, approving a negotiated settlement between the Atmos City Steering Committee and Atmos Energy Corp. Mid-Tex Division regarding the company's 2025 rate review mechanism filing, declaring existing rates to be unreasonable, adopting tariffs that reflect rate adjustment consistent with the negotiated settlement, finding the rates to be set by the attached settlement tariffs to be just and reasonable and in the public interest, approving an attachment, establishing a benchmark for pensions and retiree medical benefits, requiring the company to reimburse ACSC's reasonable rate-making expenses, determining that this ordinance was passed in accordance with the requirements of the Texas Open Meetings Act, adopting a savings clause, declaring an effective date, and requiring delivery of this ordinance to the company and the ACSC's legal counsel. In 2007, the Atmos City's Steering Committee and Atmos Energy Corporation's Mid-Tex Division settled a rate adjustment issue under the Gas Reliability Infrastructure Program by establishing a new rate review mechanism. This mechanism replaces the GRIP filings for future rate reviews. The most recent RRM tariff adopted in 2018 was used when Atmos Mid-Tex filed a rate request on April 1, 2025. The company sought $245.2 million in additional revenues based on a 2024 cost of service study. After review and discovery, ACSC consultants recommended that the deficiency under RRM standards should be set at $185.6 million. Following negotiations, the parties agreed to settle at $205.6 million. Reflecting a $20 million reduction in Atmos Mid-Tex's original request. The new rates will take effect October 1, 2025, contingent on ACSC's members' approval of the resolution ordinance prior to that date. It's recommended that the City Council approve the ordinance as set forth in the caption above. And I do have Ryan Renteria from Carrollton available. He is from Atmos. Council, if no questions or comments, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Council, if you please vote. Motion passes 6-0. Item H, reports. Reports about items of community interest regarding which no action will be taken. Councilmember Cade, can we start with you?
You can. Would you like to?
I would love to.
I really have no reports.
Okay, fair enough.
Except I understand it was a great turnout for the Red, White, and Blue Freedom Walk.
For the Freedom Walk, the 9/11 Remembrance Walk that we had on Sunday, yes, we had a great turnout from both sides of the bridge.
Absolutely, and this Thursday morning, we're going to have the remembrance ceremony, and thank you, at the Public Safety Building, so that'll be good.
Yeah, outstanding. Thank you. Councilmember Meredith.
Yes, I've got some library activities for the week. College Money Ready for teens age 14 to 18 and their adults, Tuesday, September 9th, 6:30 to 7:30 at the Bennett Program Room. Registration is required. Teen Game Night after hours for teens age 13 to 18, Friday, September 12th, 6:30 to 9, Bennett Children's Wing. Registration and permission form is required. And our newest piece of public art, Luminous Public Art Dedication and Reception, featuring artist Michelle Getlub, Lewisville Public Library, Wednesday, September 10th, 6 to 8. Ceremony is at 6:30, and do not miss this.
Thank you, sir. Councilmember Troyer.
Yes, I have a number of items for the Lewisville Grand Theater. First of all, performances, Old Town Neighbors, presented by the City of Lewisville and Lewisville Playhouse, September 13th, 14th, 19th through the 21st, with 2 performances on the 11th, or on the 13th and 20th. And then opera, presented by the Lewisville Lake Symphony on September 19th. Then several activities, Val Art Talk, Dr. Chow Behind the Frame, presented by the Visual Arts League of Lewisville on September 9th. Art demonstration with Marilyn Henryon, presented by the Visual Art League of Lewisville on September 13th. And the Crafting Co-op, presented by the City of Lewisville, September 20th, October 18th, and November 15th. And there are currently 4 art exhibitions going on in the Grand Theater. And that's my report.
Thank you, sir. Councilmember Kelly.
No report.
Councilmember Green.
I had 2 quick things I wanted to say, and the first one is because I've just been talking about it this week. I've wanted to give another plug for the My Water Advisor 2.0 app. If you have not downloaded it, you should. It is really easy to find in the App Store, download it, and as long as you have your water bill in front of you, you just type in your account number and it's linked. It's super easy, and it helped me catch a water leak at my house. You don't have to wait until you get the bill. I caught it probably a month before I actually got the bill. So, and the bill was kind of high. I just got it. It would have been way higher, and there's no reason for it. Get the app. It can track your water usage by the hour. It's worth it. Get it. The second thing I wanted to mention, just as a follow-up to what we were talking about in workshop today, there's a lot of construction going on in Old Town, and we've got Western Days coming up in a few weeks. So I live on College. Everybody uses College as the go-through instead of going through Main and Church. That's not going to be an option this year. It's also not going to be an option to park on College. I would highly recommend utilizing DCTA to get down here to go to Western Days, because the parking is going to be a little bit of a nightmare, I think. So please, if you haven't tried Go Zone, this is a great time to give it a go. That's all I have.
Councilmember Tipton.
I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the departments that I've visited so far for the new council orientation. It's been surprising, I'll say that, and I've enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I have 2 staff reports here. So first up is Stacy Anaya.
Yes, thank you, Mayor, council members, park fans. So we're kind of ending we're at the tail end of our gold medal finalist time frame. This time next week, city manager and a group of our team members from the Parks and Recreation Department will be at the gold medal gala in Orlando at the NRPA conference. And then on Wednesday morning, they reveal who the grand plaque winner is, like Oscar style. So you'll either see my Susan Lucci response or my get up and dance, we just scored a touchdown response. We're going to be live streaming that at Thrive in Herring, so if anybody would like to join the festivities, feel free to pop into one of those facilities and hopefully bring it home 2 sets of gold hardware.
Thank you.
And, I forgot, if you haven't seen on our social media the video we had to produce to accompany our application, please go in and take a look at it. It's an incredible storytelling piece about this community. So
Is that on YouTube?
it's on YouTube. Well, it's on our social media, so it takes you out there.
It takes you out to YouTube. Okay, thank you. And I have Fire Chief Mark McNeil.
Yes, as Mayor Pro Tem Kay mentioned, we have a 9/11 remembrance ceremony this Thursday morning at 8:45. Our fire and police departments would like to invite everyone to join us. We'll be at 1187 West Main at the Tittle McFadden Building. We will be at the corner of Main and Valley in the parking lot there. You'll see us set up. It'll be a short but special time.
Thank you, sir. City Manager? I do want to mention that this coming Saturday, September 13th, at the Bill Weaver Arena, 101 Parkway Drive, there is the World Senior PBR. So we have bull riding again this year. 4 p.m. the gates open. We have at 6:30 p.m. the Dustin Perkins Band, and then at 8 p.m. bull riding starts. Tickets range from free to $20 for adults. And you can buy tickets on the city's website if you would like to. Just go ahead and type bull riding into the city's website, and you'll be in great shape. There is free parking, games for kids, beer, wine, and food concessions. So, but I mean, it's bull riding. What more do you need? It's a good time. With that, we're going to go ahead and move into our closed session in accordance with Texas Government Code Subchapter D. Section 551.072 real estate property acquisitions, Section 551.074 personnel, A, City Manager Claire Powell, B, Municipal Court Judge Brian Holman, C, City Attorney Elizabeth Plaster, D, City Secretary Jennifer Malone Ippolito, and Section 551.087 economic development, deliberation regarding economic development negotiations. We are in closed session. Back in a regular session. Council, is there any action to be taken?
Yes, Mayor. I move to amend the city manager's employment agreement effective October 1, 2025 to provide that she will accrue an additional 40 hours of vacation time per year. Also, I move to increase the total compensation effective October 1, 2025 of the city manager by 6.3%, the city attorney by 5.56%, and the municipal judge by 4.4%.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Is there no other action to be taken on tonight's agenda? We stand adjourned.